We're going streaking! Yeah! Well, I mean, you can if you want. You can watch this video naked. That's up to you. But we are going to talk about streaking today. This phenomenon that started in 1974 at a rugby match in Twickenham, outside of London. Since then, the last 50 years or so, streaking has become this tradition, this phenomenon, where some soul may take the chance to bear it all and jump onto the pitch and run around before being tackled by security. Streaking is handled very differently around the world. In some countries, the cameramen will zoom in on the streaker and the commentators will laugh and chat about what they're wearing or not wearing and the efforts that the security are going through to try to tackle them. In other places, such as the US, a lot of the networks that are broadcasting these matches refuse to show the streaker, instead focusing on the coach's face or other fans just randomly, which is kind of awkward because as a viewer on television, we can hear, right, the live crowd reacting to the streaker, but we can't see what's going on. And sometimes the announcers will talk about it for a bit. It almost seems like they're not giving us the responsibility to handle reality. It's like we're not allowed to see the disgusting and naked person. Now, these networks can get away with not showing some of the most exciting parts of the game because they have total control over the broadcast. They don't share and compete with other networks. Now, imagine if they did. One network decides to not show the streaker and zoom in on a bottle of water sitting on the grass. Boring. If another network, to try to get ratings, shows the streaker, does an interview with the streaker, does a follow-up with the family, oh, of course, all the eyeballs are going to go over there. So, more and more in this world, these companies are not going to have monopolies on our eyeballs. We're going to be able to find the video that we want, or the song that we want, or the article that we want from some source. Now, in 2004, the famous or infamous Super Bowl halftime show where Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson were on stage, and he revealed Janet Jackson's breast. Now, this was a live broadcast, exclusive rights, right, for the broadcaster. Nobody else was showing the game legally around the world. And there was a lot of outrage. How could we see nudity on television? Oh my gosh. What are we going to do? The broadcaster had to apologize. People were asking for criminal charges and all these things. It was a huge hullabaloo, right? Now, there was no YouTube back then. There was no way for the hungry masses who might have missed it to say, "Whoa, what's all the fuss about? I want to see the video. What is everybody talking about? Was it really that bad? Was it on purpose? Let me make up my own mind." You couldn't, right? They clamped down on the release of that video. It was just word of mouth, and the stories would grow, and the legend of, oh, it was on purpose, oh, this and that. Now, right? Now we have social media. Now we have so much access to everything. People have gone back, and there's millions and millions of views on YouTube now of this incident. And people are saying, this is nothing, or this is outrageous. Can you believe this? And yeah, everyone has their opinion. The point is, everyone was allowed to see it and make up their own opinion now. So, for a more recent Super Bowl example of nudity, let's jump back to 2021, the recent Super Bowl, where there was a streaker in the fourth quarter. We're going to hand it over to retired star NFL athlete Pat McAfee for his team.
And all of a sudden, pink thong bikini guy is running out this way like, you stooges, we got this whole thing. Mm-hmm. And he's already out of jail and drunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
good for him. Congrats to him.
So do you think they'll make the punishment much worse now for streakers moving forward?
You know, I think it's part of the game. I do. I honestly do. And obviously there's the safety for it all. But, for instance, when a squirrel gets out on a field, let's go. You know, like that is some of the most exciting time when a squirrel is running down, or a cat. Obviously, the cat was there at Meadowlands. I was a part of a squirrel, I think at Meadowlands as well. And it was, he scored a touchdown. and he like parked it too at like the 5.
Oh, sober.
And then as soon as he got in, place went crazy.
Yeah, and you see, there's the thing, punishment. A lot of us, we see streakers running around and we assume that they're going to get in trouble or maybe get arrested. But do they spend one night in jail or a week? Do they go away for a year? Do they have to pay a huge fine, or is it just $100? We don't know. And I think that's the problem. Instead of less transparency, instead of hiding the streaker, right, which is going to get out anyway through social media, they should divulge the full story. Go ahead and show the streaker, right? It can be a wide angle shot. You don't have to zoom in and get in on the buns or anything like that. But show what's actually happening. Let's see what the crowd is reacting to. But also do your job and follow up with the consequences. Is that streaker banned for life? Did that streaker have to pay $22,000? Was that streaker fired from their job? Now people get a full picture of this phenomenon, and they can decide for themselves if it's worth it or not to be a streaker themselves. There's no point of trying to hide things anymore. We've all got smartphones. I'm using one right now, right? We've all got them in our pockets. Things are going to come out. So why not get ahead of these? Why not say, look, you're adults. We're going to treat you like adults. You can make up your own mind. We're going to give you the full story so you can have the most information. So where do we go from here, right? We've still got these old kind of laws. We've got these old ideas. We've got these old standards that we've carried since 1974, the world's first streaker. We want to cover it up. We want to squash it. We want to hide it. And that's not really possible anymore. These are going to be some uncomfortable situations that we, as an entertainment audience or a sporting audience, have to deal with. We're starting to see it in politics. We're starting to see people and their past exposed. We're starting to learn more about people that used to be able to hide everything under the covers. We're going to have some real conversations. We're going to have to talk to our kids. We're going to have to talk to our colleagues. We're going to have to figure out how certain things make us feel. But overall, I think a move towards responsibility, right, is the good choice. Giving people the information they need to make a decision for themselves, for their own families, for their own lives. If that includes some kind of warnings or rating system, we've already done that with films. We've already done that with television programs. YouTube is doing it now with content suitable or not suitable for children. We're taking steps in the right direction. But streaking is still one of these kind of hot button issues that divides people. I'm going to finish up by sharing a beautiful, quirky, maybe, love story about some dachshunds and some streakers. It is a truly special love story. I'm going to put the link in the description below. Viewer discretion advised. Obviously, there's going to be some nudity.